So once upon a millennium or so, the spiritual forces of heaven and earth got a little too cozy and gave birth to the Chaos Pearl, a glowing cosmic gem baby that basically pulled an Elon Musk and started absorbing solar and lunar energy like it was on a juice cleanse from hell. It didn't stop there. It guzzled divine and demonic energy like it was on a monster energy binge, turning into the most OP object in the universe. Naturally, the Supreme Lord of Heaven looked down and went, "Okay, this is getting out of hand," and sent his two best dudes, Taiyi Zhenren and Shen Gongbao, to shut it down. Think buddy cop movie, except neither buddy knew what the hell they were doing. Surprise, surprise, they both flopped hard. So Big Daddy Supreme Lord had to step in, ground everyone, and split the Chaos Pearl into two parts, the Spirit Pearl and the Demon Orb. Yin and Yang, good and evil, Coke and Diet Coke. To make things interesting, he slapped a heavenly curse on the Demon Orb, basically a cosmic self-destruct countdown, boom in 3 years. Until then, Taiyi got babysitting duty. Shen Gongbao, meanwhile, was left with nothing but hurt feelings and a jealousy complex big enough to qualify as a Greek tragedy. Now the Spirit Pearl was scheduled to reincarnate as Li Jing's third kid. His wife Lady Yin was like, "Cool, I'm giving birth to Heaven's chosen one." So when the time came, Taiyi descended from the skies like a sparkly Uber Eats delivery guy, lotus and pearls in tow. But plot twist, Shen Gongbao, fueled by envy and probably petty TikTok drama, infiltrated the palace. He brainwashed some staff, poisoned Taiyi's wine, never trust palace wine, lesson learned, and boom, Taiyi's out like your uncle at Thanksgiving dinner. A mind-controlled flunky tried to jack the lotus, but the spell was like, "Try me, punk." Then Li Jing walked in, saw Taiyi snoring, and decided the best way to waken a mortal was good old-fashioned violence. It worked. Because logic. Anyway, Taiyi opened the lotus using his hand since he forgot the password. Probably something embarrassing like, "I love clouds 123. Thank the gods for biometric security, or Lady Yin would have been pregnant for a decade like a mythological elephant. Unfortunately, Shen's little goon squad managed to swap the pearls, sneaking the Demon Orb into place instead of the Spirit Pearl. Li Jing tried to stop it, but too late. Lady Yin gave birth to a literal fireball. Congratulations, it's a boy. A demon boy. Whoops. Villagers screamed, people ran, and Neja, the newborn, was out here ready to barbecue the countryside. Taiyi managed to slap a magical hoop on him, like some kind of spiritual dog collar, to tone him down. He almost offed the kid, but Li Jing stepped in like, "Come on, man, that's still my son, even if he's a walking apocalypse." The village elder tried to be the voice of reason, reminding everyone of their long history of being anti-demon, basically ancient cancel culture. Li Jing was like, okay, we'll move, and promised to raise Neja outside the village. Which, sure, totally fixes the whole baby may nuke us all problem. Meanwhile, Shen Gongbao strutted off to the Dragon Palace like the evil assistant manager he was, clutching the Spirit Pearl. The Dragon King, who'd been booted from heaven for reasons, probably unpaid cloud rent, fused it with a dragon egg to make his own son, Ao Bing. This kid was destined to be a god, or at least a hot anime protagonist. Shen became his mentor, obviously dreaming of that sweet, sweet revenge arc. Back to Taiyi and Li Jing. They went to heaven to beg for curse-canceling help, but the Supreme Lord was busy, aka ghosting them. Instead, they got Guardian Cheng Shengyun, the HR representative of heaven, who basically said, "Yeah, sorry, policy's policy, curse stays." Meanwhile, Neja was growing up fast, thanks to heaven's weird time math, and lived in a palace surrounded by a protective barrier, like a spiritual Wi-Fi signal. Lady Yin, busy running a kingdom, finally squeezed in some mom time and called him to play. Neja accidentally almost Hulk-smashed her, so they suited her up in armor. Parenting! Then she left again, probably for a Zoom call, and told the guards not to let Neja leave. Naturally, he baited them into fighting each other and slipped out. Classic. Villagers still hated him. Kids tried to prank him, and Neja, bless him, trolled them back harder. One kid called him a demon and nearly got pancaked with a rock until his parents showed up just in time. Lady Yin accepted that maybe her son really was doomed. Li Jing wasn't having it. "He's not dying a nobody," he growled. Taiyi was like, "Fine, I'll train him. Let's roll." Neja ran off again, stumbled into a magic scroll, and got sucked into a realm where Taiyi trained him in Kunlun magic. You know, turning trees into boats, lakes into hallways, the usual Hogwarts electives. Neza was impatient as hell but ridiculously gifted. What took Taiyi months, he nailed in a day. Taiyi promised to teach fire magic if Neza could find an antidote in his treasure pants. Yes, pants. But Neza pulled out a fire spear instead, because of course he did. Parents came in. Taiyi explained the training camp wasn't a prison, though it kinda was. And everyone begged Nija to act normal. But Nija had trauma. Years of being called a monster will do that. So Li Jing lied. Again. And said he had the spirit pearl, and Nija was meant to save the world. Nija bought it and trained for 2 years. Still, the kid had a bit of a Hulk problem. Collateral damage happened. A lot. Taiyi confiscated his weapons like a strict fantasy dad. Then came the water demon. Nija tried to stop it, wrecked some buildings, and got baited with a hostage. Enter Ao Bing, cool, composed, and annoyingly perfect. He saved the girl. Nija, having an inferiority complex, fought him. They ended up stuck in magical bubbles. Ao Bing sacrificed himself to protect the girl. Nija used Ao Bing's stone body as a meat shield, morally gray, and saved everyone. They became friends. For once, Nija had a real buddy. Ao Bing even gave him a seashell for friendship calls. Cute. But when villagers showed up, Ao Bing bailed and Nija got blamed for everything. Again, he snapped and went berserk. His parents had to shut him down. Back at the Dragon Palace, Ao Bing was told, "Your BFF? Yeah, he's the demon you're supposed to kill to become a god." Yikes. Meanwhile, Nija spiraled. Stopped eating, brooded in his room. Lady Yin threw him a birthday party. He thought it was a funeral. That says a lot. Li Jing lied again, told him everyone believed in him now. Nija, glowing with joy, went to invite Ao Bing personally. Ao Bing was tempted to ditch the mission, but family drama kicked in, and he got armored up. Party day came. Villagers were forced to attend. Mandatory fun, yay! But Shen Gongbao, world-class troll, showed up to drop the ultimate bomb. Surprise! You've got the demon orb. Your whole life's a lie. Nija lost it. Taiyi tried giving him gifts and apologies, but the kid was Dion. He ripped off the control hoop, powered up, and was seconds from leveling the place. Shen watched from a distance, giggling like a villain with popcorn. This was his moment. Finally, Nija would go nuclear, die by lightning, and Ao Bing would be crowned hero god. But Ao Bing wasn't about that life. He masked up, tackled Neza, gave Taiyi the hoop back, and helped subdue his friend. Neza cooled down, looked around, and ran away. Because that's what you do when life gives you chaos pearls, family lies, and a party full of fake smiles. So Li Jing, bless his socially awkward heart, tries to thank Ao Bing for saving everyone, but ends up doing that thing where someone gives away way too much info in a thank you speech. Like, "Thanks to Ao Bing, our friendly neighborhood dragon." And everyone's like, "Wait, dragon?" Cue collective gasping and pitchfork energy. Because, obviously, if you're a magical sea lizard with wings, you must be the criminal mastermind. Ao Bing finally gets what Shen Gongbao meant when he said, "They'll always see us as the villains," which hits hard. So Ao Bing's like, fine. If I'm going to be treated like the bad guy, I might as well go full Godzilla. And boom. He pulls the ocean like it's his personal Brita filter and starts making this giant frozen slab to pancake the village like a medieval ice challenge. Meanwhile, Neza is in the woods, just obliterating trees like an angsty anime protagonist who just found out their favorite band broke up. Then, Taiyi's pig, yes, a literal flying bacon buddy, rolls in like, "Hey, wanna trauma dump some flashbacks?" and plays a memory projector straight out of This Is Your Life Sad Edition. Turns out, when Li Jing met Heaven's Guardian earlier, he got the ultimate Parent of the Year offer. You can save your son if you agree to die slowly over 2 years. And Li Jing was like, "Sign me up, just let me finish my taxes first." That little pouch he gave Neza, not a lucky charm, it's a ticking sacrifice bomb. So yeah, not your average family heirloom. Neza starts crying, which, given the state of Gen Z, is the most relatable he's ever been. and bolts back to stop Ao Bing from giving the whole village a cold, hard reset. He and Tai Yi tag team their way into battle, but of course, Shen Gongbao shows up like the toxic co-worker who only appears when chaos is fully brewed. They all brawl their way into Tai Yi's virtual training ground, which is basically a magical version of the Matrix but with worse Wi-Fi. Tai Yi drops his magical brush, which is apparently the wand of "let's fix this mess," and everyone dives for it like it's the last PS5 on Black Friday. Ne Jia, ever the problem child, grabs the brush with his foot like he's starring in a kung fu remake of Cirque du Soleil and boom, teleports everyone back to the real world. Now Ao Bing is done pretending. He goes full winter is coming dragon mode and starts crushing the ice slab down on the village like he's icing a giant cake of vengeance. Ne Jia rips off his control hoop like it's a malfunctioning Fitbit and unleashes all his power. Ao Bing begs him, "Just embrace being the villain, it's easier." But Ne Jia's like, "No one gets to assign me a role. I write my own destiny, thank you very much," and smashes the ice slab to protect the people who spent years calling him a demon. He lets Ao Bing live because, plot twist, they're besties now. He tells him to run because the Lightning Express is on the way to deliver his final death appointment. But Ne Jia ain't done being dramatic. He ties up his parents himself, like reverse kidnapping, destroys the sacrifice spell, and thanks them for loving him more than the village loved gossip. Then he stands tall, like the fiery icon he is, ready to die on his own terms. Just as Zeus Jr. gets ready to throw the lightning bolt, Ao Bing shows up beside him like, "If you're dying, I'm dying too, bro." He uses his ultimate dragon armor to shield Ne Jia. It doesn't work. Classic. But instead of leaving, Ao Bing is like, "Let's go down together like emotionally damaged heroes." And boom, just as they hold hands, cue magical soul fusion moment. The Chaos Pearl, sensing their bond, pulls itself back together and fights the curse like it just read a motivational Pinterest quote. Tai Yi, channeling every frantic uncle energy, grabs his lotus shield and swoops in to save their souls, like some supernatural soul-saving Uber, and manages to get them reincarnated. The villagers, who spent Ne Jia's entire life calling him Satan's stepson, now bow an apology like, "Oops, our bad." Thanks for watching. If you liked the chaos, hit subscribe and ring the bell, or Shen Gongbao might show up with poisoned wine.